So, Arma 3, one of those games that sat in my list of would like to play but wouldn't play games. Intense realism just sounded like intense frustration. Imagine my surprise when I found it in my Steam library. I need to check my spending habits. Game for your dad, is it? Bring it. I'm a father of two and ready to bust into this thing. Mission 1 and we're running away. We're withdrawing from the island of Stratus. Who's we? NATO. Why? I couldn't tell you. But I'm just a simple soldier boy who follows orders. Now I like this opening chopper ride. We get a good look at how well this game holds up, and they even chuck in some world building. Basically every point you see will be important to the campaign later. It's well integrated. Now I plan to play through this game and see what it's all about. I've never touched it before, and I figured the campaign would be a good place to start. I fully expect to suck at this game, so if you're looking for an acid test as to whether you could handle it, look no further than this idiot behind the keyboard and mouse. We get to our first objective, Camp Rogaine, and get given a mission to head down to a base called Camino. I'm driving with this guy, Staff Sergeant Adams, with a voice like he has a US flag thong and chews 45s instead of gum.
You sure you can handle that?
Now it takes me a hot minute to realize that this is an American truck and I'm trying to get into the wrong side. Driving in Arma 3 is either near death by speed or slow death by decay. Your choice. Little down the road, we get stopped by a foreshadowing plot device before we're able to set off again. You might be thinking this is leading somewhere, and yeah, I guess the foreshadow wasn't cast very long. One of our top guys has taken one to the sack and Camino down the hill starts getting trashed. The checkpoint lads and the boys are up to nonsense. Adams rates the safest option would be to strap it back to Rogaine. If you aren't a fat useless bastard like me and want to simulate as one, jump into Arma 3. This little bar up here will keep you breathless in and out of the game. We run into our first contact just up the hill. Now I don't know how iron sights work, so I just plug away down the side of my gun Counter-Strike style. The first time around nearly takes me out and pings off my cover. I legitimately crap myself. One misclick later and I discover iron sights. It's one right click and not click and hold. My first cap goes down shortly after with the headshot, only for me to be humbled by a cheeky plug from a guy I hadn't seen. This red diamond highlighting my enemies is supposed to represent my team leader's call out of targets. It's a neat little system, and I hate it. While sticking around in my conquered foes inventory, I discover my illustrious leader has pissed off up the hill without me. I guess the real enemy are the friends we brought along for the ride. Turns out Rogaine is getting smashed, so change of plan. We head toward Camp X-Ray, which has a slight overrun by the enemy problem. I Hail Mary a grenade at the last guy and pull off a risky Delta Force maneuver to end it. Yeah, I survived that, but I'm pretty sure I played that wrong. A friendly chopper appears overhead, calling all NATO dingleberries to swing by LZ Baldy for pickup. This cheeky bugger flies over and I'm sure he's not going to be a problem. We run into another bit of contact and I manage to pull off a prone. Doesn't sound like much, but as crouching prone on map to Z and X, I feel I wish I had an extra 2 fingers sprouting from my wrist. With what I presume to be the sole breadwinners of their families between us and Salvation extinguished, we have an open... Wonderful. Mission 2 catches up with Adams and I after we've hightailed it to a nearby forest. We're hiding out from an enemy chopper. You can imagine that by now the island is crawling with enemy patrols out looking for survivors. So it's such a relief to have Adams along for the ride. He's like a mentor, a guiding hand, Yoda to my Luke. I'm not sure where I'd be without this guy. Now this next part is broken up into a number of different attempts on my part for survival. So... Before Adams planted his feet on a happy mat, some other survivors contacted us and gave us a position to meet up. I now need to get there on my own. They advised me not to continue on my present course, which I ignore. I reload back in and decide hitting a hard right would be a better option. I make it quite far and chuck down a cheeky save scum as I think I'm in a pretty good spot to continue on to my objective. I tried to sneak between these two lads and make a play for the ridge, but I'm spotted and shots ring out behind me. I decide my only option is to Leroy Jenkins it to the objective. I reload back to my very convenient save point, check the map, and I think the save might be problematic. I take a hit but push on through. Now I've never been shot at before, but the way the bullet crack makes my ass head tingle makes me think that Bohemia nailed it. I plug my bullet hole, another one is added. I notice the guy usually on this hill isn't there anymore, so I reckon I've got a good shot to the lads. Bullets scream in from somewhere, headless chicken mode engages and... I figure my last reload was glitched, so I load back into my last save and immediately start backing out. I refuse to believe that those bullets are being fired at me until it becomes quite clear somebody disagrees with my existence. I take one to the ass, but at this point my stamina bar is starting to be a hindrance. I take a position behind this enormous tree and decide to send my regards. Half a MacLeod and one of my detractors is singing the blues. Hilly Boy spots me and it's time for him to go. One Rambo play later and it's a high noon showdown. I take a hit and it all comes down to who gets the next hit in. So I drop Hilly Boy and I'm thinking that Rambo maybe had something going for him. I casually heal before my calm is shattered by another salvo of rounds. It's time to go, and I know Lacey and the boys are just over the hill. I lob a granny and avoid the fire on my left, if I can just get over the hill. I take a couple of hits and I'm left limping agonizingly slowly towards my objective, which soon comes into view. If I can just get close enough, then the lads will come out and assist. I decide to abandon my sneaky little scum save and just reload the last autosave. Rinse and repeat the basics, but this time I decide on a circuitous circuit and not just a direct route. I pay my respects to Hilly Boy one last time and decide that I'll take the north side of his hill and work around his back, sticking to the trees. But Hilly Boy just can't have the normal sight range of crappy AI, can he? And he opens up on me from a distance. We have another one of our famous who is worse at shooting contests before I decisively send the bugger to hell. Now I figured the whole area has heard our conversation, but with Hilly Boy gone I've got a straight shot to Lacey and the lads. The map marks two guys to my rear, but I can outrun them. I make the hill, get eyes on Lacey and burn my whole damn stamina bar to get to them. 5 attempts and I think I'm starting to enjoy myself. Challenge, you know? Something about overcoming it, satisfaction, I don't know, there's a lesson in there somewhere. Before I can even catch my breath, my new squad are heading out. One thing I'm noticing is that the AI is quite happy to progress without you. And this is why I hate the stamina bar so much. The AI just seems to be able to go for ages without stopping. This wouldn't suck as much if it just meant you had to stop occasionally. But no, if you're fatigued and run into a contact, then your gun swears around like a 3 AM slash after the wind has been in the sails, if you know what I mean. Want to know why I hate the stupid red triangle? Well, looky here, another contact to prove my point. I get called on to engage this guy. What the hell was that? I'm then stuck blasting at a wall of dirt while my squad gets wrecked by the rest of the enemy. The other issue is that I get this guy marked out who I can't shoot, while my squad leader barks out marks for my AI squad mates who will literally stand in the open and get picked, and I can't even see who's shooting them. I feel like a player on the bench while coach sends out frickin' Martinez and Taylor to make the play. Put me in, coach. My squad is being terminated, so I make a break for it to clear the enemy out. I reload, repeat the contact and succeed in clearing out the baddies. Now I don't know if I'm supposed to keep my squad alive or if this is the way the game gives me ammo. The rest of the mission is basically just to meet up with some British survivors who have established a base of operations at a place called Camp Maxwell. It's from there that the rest of the early part of the campaign gets going. But I think that's enough for now, and 2 missions have been a long enough intro to this game. You want to see more? Let me know down in the comments, and a share, like and subscribe wouldn't go amiss and give me the motivation to keep on going. I'm going to play the game anyway, so come along for the ride if you want. Unless you stink.